Hey, what's good YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In today's video, I'm going to do a market update and give you an update on a ton of our airdrop protocols, as well as some really cool things that I think you should be looking into. So with that being said, guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. I'm just a guy on YouTube. With that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on all my socials. Check me out on Twitter, the Brown Gent YT. Follow me on the bank, see how my wallet is doing in EVM anyways. And then on top of that, if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, you can get my services, the Web3 Secret Society, our private group. You can grandfather yourself in for $30 a month. Price will be going up when the market starts pumping, so lock in that price, get the extra coaching, guidance, and support. Join the 250 or so people who find value. Or if you want, you can also book a private video call with me to get yourself situated and having a personal plan for the bull run. Now, what I want to highlight here is something that's been coming up a lot recently, which is the fear and greed index is sitting at fear. Now, we're not extreme fear, but we're fearful. We're at 34. We were at 47 yesterday or 43 yesterday. And it's quite ironic to see us at these levels of fear. And then if you just take a look at the actual price of Bitcoin, $58,000. Imagine if we were here 3 years ago, we'd be like, why would we be fearful? But it's all the market chop. In fact, yesterday we saw Solana go all the way down to $122. We saw ETH at $2,300, very close to its 2023 price. And Bitcoin was around $56,000, $55,000. So I think it's sort of really important here that we sort of take a look at this. But the first thing I want to say is, guys, we're all on Team Bitcoin. So Michael Saylor posted this video. I think it's super important just to sort of be aware of this. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is going to be here for a long time. And one thing that you guys need to not worry about is the price fluctuations we see day to day. In fact, if you take a look at the Bitcoin monthly returns, what will happen is you will see that we typically have a really bad September. September is usually red with a few exceptions, but October is usually very, very green, and it's very green to a massive extent. So just keep tracking. Don't listen to the doom posters on Twitter. And in fact, looking at Max because BTC, basically at our request or at the request of people, he's put out the charts from the last two halvings, including this cycle, showing what's happened after the BTC halving and how Bitcoin behaves poorly for the majority of Q3. And then September is a chop fest and Q4 is good. Hopefully this time is also not different. Just take a look at this. This was second BTC halving back in 2016. Take a look last cycle, same deal. And then you see the skyrocket, right? Just take a look at the juicy gains. And you won't get those gains if you let idiots on Twitter who want your engagement to just convince you to sell out. These people are literally the dumbest. Do not let the fear get to you. I know it can make you anxious at times. In fact, Axel BitBlaze posted a tweet around 3 reasons why he thinks BTC is being suppressed. It's becoming pretty obvious. And we know this. Smart money is stacking Bitcoin. Retail is getting shaken out. How long can they keep it up? And what's the major upcoming catalyst for crypto? Basically, SPY is up, Bitcoin is down. So this is the S&P 500. And it's weird because Bitcoin typically is very correlated with the US stock market. This correlation tends to have broken, which is weird because last month, the S&P 500 was up about 2%. Bitcoin was down 10%. DXY was down 3%. That's also usually bullish, which is weird because it's almost like Bitcoin is being manipulated. The price is being manipulated down, which is true. Now, You might hear these arguments sometimes when you hear Cardano or some other tokens. People try to use realistic statements for one asset and think that it applies across the board. But no, most of the time, if you can influence it with scammers and stuff like that, that's what's happening. Like think about Nero, which happened recently with a lot of KOLs dumping their tokens, right? That is not manipulation by market buyers. It's manipulation by KOLs dumping on people who they tricked, who they lied to. Very, very different. In this case, also liquidity has gone up. So basically what we're seeing here is that global liquidity rises. And what that means is more money is available for people to buy risk on assets like Bitcoin. We saw this during COVID. We saw this during the banking crisis. We saw this at the end of Q4. And we usually see massive pumps in Bitcoin. And despite liquidity rising by 5% globally, Bitcoin's down 5%. Doesn't make any sense. And also, if you take a look at who's dumping Bitcoin, it's primarily the US market. Asian market is bidding it up. US market opens and dumps it. It's weird, and all signs are pointing to the fact that this is being manipulated. One more thing, there's a bunch of bullish catalysts. So very soon, US companies will be able to invest their cash directly into Bitcoin. Most of the top 500 companies hold over a ton of cash, 3 trillion. Imagine what that could do to Bitcoin sitting at 1.2 trillion market cap. Fed rate cuts. We're expecting a rate cut this month in September. Once again, more spending, more risk on activity. Bitcoin will benefit from that. Money flow from bonds, $133 trillion tied up in global bonds. And we also know there's other things like FTX, and it's all over here. Trump could win the election potentially. Russia is growing in interest in crypto. FTX distribution, even though the SEC is trying to get involved for some reason, who knows why. Lark Davis also sort of agrees with this sentiment. Here's a tweet he put out yesterday. Potentially 16 days away from rate cuts. U.S. elections 65 days away. FTX about to redistribute $16 billion in cash in Q4. Gold is an all-time high. The M2 money supply is rising. Total market cap of stable coins is all-time high. You guys have literally no reason to be bearish. The only reason people are bearish because Ansem and other idiots on Twitter are just doom posting because they know that gets the clicks, that gets the views. And that's my market update, guys. I hope that makes you feel more confident. Guys, September may be terrible, but you can take the small pain now, or you can listen to these people, sell out, and then feel the massive pain when you see Bitcoin at 150K, when you see ETH at 10,000 US, when you see Sol at $800 US. These are obviously my assumptions. Don't hold me to any price targets. But yeah, now with the downturn in the market, especially in the last day, what's happened is the NX Finance IDO has not been going well. So as you guys know, I captured before that this first come, first served whitelist sold out in 2 minutes. The public round has been going on for about a day and a half, and it hasn't even filled 1/3. So what this tells me is either a lot of people are waiting on the sidelines to see how this goes, or people just aren't interested. It seems like this will not sell out, which is actually not a good news for me and the investment I put in, because it means the price will likely fall from 18 cents because we have additional sell pressure from the airdrop. So if you haven't gotten in already and you don't see this do well, just avoid it. It's going to be a waste of money. The next update is on Bad Bunny. I made a video yesterday capturing this launch. It's a really cool Telegram game. You can get involved, earn an airdrop. In fact, what I've done is I have been grinding nonstop. So thank you for those who have used the links in the description below to use the referrals. I've been grinding, clicking buttons, getting boosts. If you want to know how to get to the top of the leaderboard, make sure you check out the video guide that I made yesterday and posted yesterday. I'm currently in 4th place. If you are joining, please do use my referral link. It will help me get a bit more points. If I refer another 40 more people, I get the next stage of referrals, which gets me an additional boost to sort of get me to beat Bartertown. So let's do that, okay? Now, another thing as well is in an hour and 20 minutes, I'll be going live to do an AMA with the team. So if you have any questions, please come on and ask. I'm going to be asking some questions around the airdrop, around the game, what sort of their plans are. Please feel free to ask your own questions as well. So that is something that I want to make sure that you guys are looking into as well. Another update is on SweetPlay, and that is basically you can reserve your piece of history. Basically, it's like the first Web3 handheld gaming device. So it reminds me a lot of the PlayStation, that portable PlayStation game you can have, a PSP, I think it was called. And it's going to have PC games on it, which is cool. But the reason I want to get into it, and the reason I've heard some good things, is if you guys remember the Solana chapter, the saga, right? Chapter 1, Chapter 2, the first one had incredible gains. Even Chapter 2, I made my money back in airdrops. And that's exactly what most people are speculating here. So you get a piece of history. It costs $599. I have already ordered one. The advice I've been told is if you're going to order multiple, use different wallets so that you have multiple NFTs sent to you, which will get you multiple different types of airdrops. So it's definitely something that you want to consider. Okay. Also, the next update is on a conference, which you guys never hear me talk about them, but there is Solana Breakpoint happening in just a few short weeks in September. Why is this important? Well, I mean, obviously, if you want to learn more about Solana, and they're very well curated sessions, that's cool. But more importantly, and what I thought was very interesting is if you take a look at the price of the Sol token right before Breakpoint in the past, it has done incredible moves as people speculate. They try to front run the move. And in fact, right now, Sol is sitting at support, 134. It was sitting at like 130-ish when I was about to prep this video. So guys, like we're literally at the bottom of the band for this cycle so far, ever since we pumped. So if you're interested, this could be a play. This is a play that I'm jumping into right now. I already have a bunch of Sol, but love to see the price surge. Let's see if it happens. We got about 2 to 3 weeks to accumulate. I'm accumulating right now. Okay. Next update is on LINEA. So if you have participated in the LINEA culture season, so this was one of many farming campaigns that LINEA did, definitely go in here and make sure you've done your proof of humanity. You have until the midnight of September 8th Pacific time. Okay. Also, an update on the YAKA finance campaign. They have posted a tweet saying the mainnet campaign is complete. Thanks to everyone who joined. The IDO, which is the next step, is planned for sometime this month. If you hold any of the YAKA Voyager NFTs, whether you bought it through the campaign or prior, the snapshot will be taken 3 days before the IDO. And if you participated in the Great Voyage, you will get a whitelist spot. So more info coming soon as well. Okay. And finally, the last update I want to give you, or one of the last few updates I want to give you, is on Celestia. So Celestia is so close to round tripping its gains. One thing of note you need to know, and this is very important, their unlock happens in 56 days, where it will almost effectively double the circulating supply of Celestia. And you know what that means? It's going to get dumped on. So I will be unlocking my Celestia very soon. It's about 21 days to unlock. I think it's either 14 or 21 days. I'm going to check that out and make sure that I'm unlocking my tokens prior to that, because I don't want to be dumped on, but I also want to maximize the chances of getting a relevant airdrop. I'm looking at you, Eclipse. Okay. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to answer a few comments and then I'll go. So we saw Macho in the video. Can't wait to see what this video has in store. Yeah, great. Yo-Yo Street says, I'm done with airdrops. Literally going to remove my liquidity from LINEA and Scroll. I mean, you can. The beautiful thing about those airdrop farming, though, and what I will say is, if you're holding ETH, which is what you should be doing, I mean, unless you're selling your ETH, I don't know why you'd want to remove your liquidity. I use their money markets on LINEA and Scroll to farm it. I don't use mitosis, as I told you guys. I gave you guys that heads up about 3 months ago when I was in the UK that I took everything out of mitosis except for 0.1 ETH. And the reason I did that is it allows me to buy more ETH, to borrow more USDC and farm more with liquidity and speculate on longs and shorts in perpetual dexes and things like that. So there's a way to do it. Like, these airdrop things aren't costing me money. They're enabling me. I just saw the question, who do I think is winning, Scroll or LINEA? Scroll. I think LINEA is, people are assuming it's going to be a massive letdown, but I don't know. They keep adding these useless things. They're trying to find ways to disqualify more people. Scroll just seems better. I think at the end of the day, they both end up losing, however, to Base. Base is like the best chain. I think Base is Ethereum's answer to Sol. Metro Corona, I'm still buying, so am I. I bought 5,000 Bitcoin this morning. If you guys want to see my buy alerts, I now do buy alerts in the Web3 Secret Society, letting people know what I bought. I'll spot you guys one. I bought Bitcoin for 5,000 US when it was sitting at, I think it was 56,739 US dollars. I thought the narrative was having an ETF was driving up demand. Why do we got bullish? No, what happened is it's always the halving year that Bitcoin does well, but it's not the halvings per se. If you look at all the years, it's always been about 6 months post halving that the pump happens. And this usually times up with the election. At the same time, there's a lot of market influence, right? The ETF is supposed to drive up demand, and it did. It pre-ran some of the move, and then we retraced. Take a look at the inflows and the outflows. The inflows for the ETFs is non-existent right now. They're non-existent. On Bitcoin, I believe they had a few weeks of negative like inflows or outflows. So it's not that it's super bearish, but remember, if you bought Bitcoin, you're not upset. It's really people who bought altcoins who are super bearish, people who went into meme coins, who got PVP'd, who went to pump fund. All of those extractive tools just took money out of the ecosystem. I'll give you an example. Pump fund made $100 million at the expense of people in the Sol ecosystem. And you know what it did? It literally dumped it into USDC. So yeah, and I'll get to that last question here, but no, I'm 5,000 US dollars in Bitcoin. I wish 5,000 BTC. Do I have a plan if this is the actual start of a bear market? Yeah, so here's the thing. And I covered this in the Web3 Secret Society. Maybe I'll make a video on it later. But basically, you want to look at certain resistance and support levels. We're not even close to that to basically say, hey, like this is the start of a bear market. There are certain signals we'll have to look at. We're not even close to that. And if you actually have a sort of bear market, you would actually see massive nukes. You wouldn't see this sort of trending. What we're seeing now is the equivalent of a bull market flag. So it's downward price action, and they're going to send it up. This is exactly the sort of playbook. What's the whitelist on for YAKA? It's just for their IDO. So if you participated in the campaign, you can get it. Any NFTs for the LINEA airdrop? What I'll say is look at the LXP NFTs. It really depends on if they've done a snapshot. We'll see. Check the Discord to make sure. Yeah, and honestly, like it's literally the people who have bought a bunch of altcoins. If you guys watch my videos, I told people, do not buy altcoins. You guys know 80% of my portfolio is in BTC, ETH, and Sol. That has not changed. How many times have I said this on all my videos? And the reason for that, and people are like, you're an idiot. The Brown Gent is so dumb, does not buy any altcoins or whatever. I'm like, I do, but I'm not front running anything. I'm so glad I held strong. I mean, don't get me wrong, ETH is not doing well and Sol is good still for me, but BTC has been fantastic. October is coming, I believe so as well. Average is 22.5 gains. Gave me a heart attack. You should be happy. You want people to buy Bitcoin. If I could buy 5,000 Bitcoin, you should be pumped. Thanks for your answers. Yeah, not a problem. Are you looking at SoFund? No, not yet. I don't know what that is actually. I mean, listen, X crypto, all that means is you got to have the stones to hold on to it. So just sit there and wait with it. And just like, if you put yourself in that situation, now that you're there, this is the hard part. If you can hold through, if you got the good alts, it doesn't matter. I just don't like being down like 70%. So that's why. Anyways, guys, I got to run. I'll see you guys in an hour and 10 minutes for my AMA. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share the video. I want to come do this more often with you guys, and I will be doing it more often. In October, I'll be doing daily live streams and everything else like that. So I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.